Let me address this to LaToya Jones, not the adult, but to that inner child that she clearly has not seek help or healing for. Because I honestly think a lot of this is happening to her or happening with her or why she feels the way she does because one, that inner child was never healed, and then that inner child turned to a teenager, and that teenager turned into an adult that continued to be hurt by people she might have trusted or wanted to trust. All right. So let me speak to that child because see, a comment was made on her video that to her haters, and by the way, I'm no hater. I'm just someone who tells the truth and expose lies for what they are. But she said to her haters, uh, do what you need to do because you're trying to make your money. And if y'all really knew her outside of YouTube, that y'all probably would be her friends. Well, let me say this from as a commentary person and exposer, and as a person outside of YouTube. I would never have any type of relationship with a person such as yourself, because even if you were able to fool me originally, once I really got to know who you were, I would separate myself completely from you because I wouldn't want them spirits on me because spirits do transfer. But what I do see from her is I see somebody who's hurt. I see someone who that inner child just didn't get handled right in her eyes. Maybe her vision of what happened and whoever other's vision of what happened is completely different. But whatever your version is your version, and that's your truth. So I can only go off of what she told on the internet. But I also can see what she's dealing with as well. Something tells me that she's dealing with some type of psychological issues that she got going on within herself. I know she's dealing with spirits that ain't clean because they keep manifesting themselves in her. And that's what manifesting is, y'all. Manifesting is showing up. And it's not that you are willing anything into your life. It's just that it's being revealed, it's being manifested, and it's being shown as to what it really is. See, as a kid, I was a child that had a lot of friends. I was what she described as a popular kid. I had a lot of guys that wanted to talk to me, but I wasn't into the guys like that at the time. I was into my sports and stuff. I had a lot of female friends that I was friends with, but I was a little tomboy, so we sort of only went so far, right? But I had a love for sports. I had a love for cheering. I had a love for just interacting and being funny. As y'all can probably see now, that's who I am now, even to this day. So that's just who I am. But I also had a love for helping people that just couldn't help themselves. And so a lot of people did look up to me as someone who defended them. And see, if I would have known you, LaToya Jones, as a kid, and I would have saw and picked up on what was going on with you, either from listening to your stories or just being aware, because discernment has always been something that has been with me, even as a child. Okay? So I would have probably tried to get to know you and probably try to help you out. And see, even though I was one of the kids you talked about being popular, who was a cheerleader, that drew a lot of people into them, and maybe someone that was standoffish did not get that attention. If I saw somebody that was in that position, I would go befriend them, and I would try to learn what's going on with them, and if anything that I had that I could give, I would give it to them, try to make them feel better, or I'll try to tell them it's going to be all right. Right? Because I too know what it feels like when you're at a certain point in your life. Even though I was outspoken, it was parts of my life where people tried to keep me from not saying much because I was outspoken, right? So I totally understand that, and I can resonate that with people who have those personal issues. But see, you got to heal that little girl that you say was overweight and people didn't like, whose skin was so dark that every other light skinned person got more attention than you. You have to heal that person, and you have to know that you don't get to choose what body you come in when you come into this earth and into this world, but you do have to accept whatever situation that you're given. And in accepting that, you got to learn to love yourself, love who you are. You have to love yourself, not with the makeup on, not with the hair done, not with the nails that you portray, not with your body size or shape. Growing up, I was very petite, and some probably even picked at me at times, but I had a mouth and I knew how to fight to where I could shut them up if I needed to. Okay, but some probably picked at me for being really skinny. I was 75 pounds in high school. They used to do this little thing where they used to wrap their hand around my wrist. God darn you, skinny! But I still had attributes that people liked, even in my skinny days. Okay, so you have to know how to love who you are, because when all that stuff come off of you and all the clothes come off and you have to look at yourself for who you are, almost like if you're standing in the presence of God, you have to love who you are, and you have to either accept your situation or do something to change your situation. And you do it the correct way. You don't do it to hurt anybody. You don't do it to make anybody feel less than you so that you can feel better. See, I think you got something in your head from back in the day when you were growing up, and maybe when guys probably wasn't showing you attention the way you wanted them to show you attention. That because the way they put you down, you have to now put others down now that you're in a position where you got eyes on you, as where before you had none on you. Right? Um, and that's the persona that you give with Dodash. Because the persona that you give with Toya is Toya has always been that lady. That she always had herself together. She always dressed nice, had luxury items. The Latoya that I seen on Dodash #2 and the Latoya that I seen on Instagram, and Latoya got it going on, and she ain't finna let nobody put her down. Okay, that's the Latoya that I found and I saw. But the Dash that you're trying to act like on this platform, who is never had anything, now that you got it, you want to continue to get it, and you're gonna beg for it and all. I don't know where that came from. I'm almost believing that you probably, whoever this Dash personality is with you, you've probably heard this story from somebody and made it into your own. Like the eviction story, the HIV story, the you being the mentor for the car dealership story, the car story, how all these stories just keep changing and being altered. The manifestation of your apartment story. The lying about the check story. I'm really starting to believe that those were our lives. Those were stories you heard and you altered and changed to make them your own, because the story just keep changing. And I'm only saying this because of your patterns and your behavior. And so it's starting to make me feel like you weren't being honest about your story. So here's the scary part of it all, y'all. Y'all might be led by somebody that don't even know who they are. They're so deep into being pretending to be someone else that they are lost, whoever they are. But we do know your name is Latoya Jones because we don't heard your family call you that. They don't call you by what this online persona is. They call you for who you are. And then through your own stories, we kind of got a glimpse of what happened in your family. But do we really have what happened within your family? Because right now, Latoya Jones and that unhealed child that's within you, y'all are making people believe that you're just a liar. Right? And that's because you made this, not because of anybody is jealous or envious of anything that you have. What is anybody jealous of? Are we jealous of you taking advantage of other people? Are we jealous that you can convince people to give you money and then never produce on a product? Are we jealous that you are lying on the Lord and we know the truth? There has to be something that we're jealous of in order to be jealous or envy. You think that we are jealous because you blew up on YouTube? Well, if you watch with a learning eye, you will see the people that are talking about you are either have platforms that they have blown up on, or they are constantly growing. They not stagnant the way you are. They are growing. So one day they're going to be in that position. And when they do, they will show people the correct way to do things, not the lying and the deceit, not the conning people and selling them the hype and the motivational speeches, not the lying on the Lord to suck people in, not the narcissistic behavior, not the sly belittling folks on the sly. Because we know you watching these videos. You want to know how we know? Because you give it away in your videos. It's really funny how I did a whole Kendrick Lamar remake, in one of your videos. You use the same song and jump up and tell somebody to kiss your, okay, but you would never do that to me in person, because although I love the Lord, I'm not on their side of turn the other cheek just yet. Okay. So that would never happen in real life. So go ahead and pretend on the platform. Okay. But you gotta stop this, girl. You have to stop, because the more people that wake up and realize the DoorDash, you know, is being fake and phony, and it's misleading them because they're no longer are desperate, and they can see past the desperation or the lack of knowledge because they're learning as well. You will have people that still follow you like a cult, right? Because either they're resonating something with you, or they are just like you themselves, or they're waiting for your downfall so they could laugh at you, while others are trying to tell you they were only trying to help you. But they will be the ones who will be laughing at your downfall. So just like Miss Boss Lady said in her video, y'all go check out her videos, okay? Just like and I want to make sure I say the right name, because I notice a lot of people have uh, that in their name. So I want to make sure I give her accolades to Boss Beauty 91. Just like she said in her video about the devil can give you gifts too. He can, honey. You better recognize who it's coming from. And y'all, the devil can mask himself as if he is God. He has done it throughout all of eternity, all of life. He has done it until will be no more. Okay, until he will be no more and can't do it anymore. But until that day comes, he will continue to fool people, give people money, give people materialistic things, take things and give people messages and twist them up, because he soothe whatever that they need or whatever that they're going through, so that way he can control them at the end. But make no bones about it, once the devil give you something, he's going to snatch it back. And when he snatch it back, it's going to come with your destruction. It was only given to you to bring you down. Know the difference, because right now you are entangling yourself in a web that will be your downfall and your destruction. But even through all this, I'm telling you, Latoya Jones, you still have a chance to come from out of this and turn this thing around once you start doing it the right way. And don't just turn around because your narcissistic, manipulative ways is saying to do it temporarily and then go back to doing what you were doing. But when you completely do a 180, and I said 180 and not 360, because 360, you right back to the same place that you was. But when you do a 180 and truly get that word within you to where you understand what is going on and his word manifests in your soul for real, you can no longer do what you do to people. You can no longer use people lack of knowledge or understanding or desperation against them because it just will not allow you to do that. In your soul and in your spirit, God ain't going to allow you to do it because he goes against everything in the opposite direction of what you're saying. So hopefully I was able to speak to that child, that inner child, Latoya Jones, that is still hurting in there. And then once that inner child get spoken to, she can talk to that teenager, and then she can talk to that adult, and y'all can catch up to Dodash and get her in line. All right, y'all. Well, as always, be your brothers and your sisters' keeper. Keep God first. Y'all, remove the blinders from your eyes. Wake up and see the truth of what's going on. I wish everybody well, including her, including Latoya Jones, aka DoorDash. I wish her much, much, much success. But I wish she do it the correct way. Toodles. And don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe, y'all.